let's start sketching. All right, this is going to be a challenging one today. The dungeon boss, Aquamentus, despite the cool name, and relatively, maybe this isn't the Aquamentus as we know it. We know just as well that Aquamentus looks like this in the actual game. Bit of a stretch to see the connection between the two. And I don't even know where these wings sort of fit in over here. Striped belly, yes. Horn, yes. Ears, yes. Spikes along the back, yes. Wings? Maybe here? Is that the wing? Are those wings? Of course it shoots fireballs from its horn. And then it's like, what are these shapes? Are these like the hind feet? Picking steps? Maybe this is like the down position of the wing. Maybe it flaps up and down in the game. Maybe there's like an open mouth version. Anyway, it's not clear. If anybody's yet done a good job of interpreting. I'll keep this reference up here where the audience doesn't really see it, but I'll sketch from that first. All right, let's think about it first. Well, it definitely is, in my estimation, the same artist who had been doing all of her favorite, mostly middling depictions of these characters, and I can just tell from the shading technique, with these long lines in this sort of it's not a very sophisticated approach to cross-hatching, but where applied well, it does work. I just don't think it's the problem here is that there's this design isn't interesting, and it just looks like they've designed a toy, like a plastic, molded, injection molded plastic. Crappy toy with wings that look like they would snap off. No clear intention behind much of it at all. This kind of there's just perfectly even spacing in between each of these things. Very even spacing between all of these little dots. All the dots themselves are the same size. this is incredibly, you know, I mean, it makes sense. It's like, okay, it's going from smaller to bigger and stuff like that. But to have it be so predictable is boring. All this just looks like a cone. This looks like I don't know. And there's no indication of any kind of like musculature or bones or form in anything going on here. The mouth doesn't look like it opens. The legs don't look like they bend. The neck doesn't look like it bends. The tail doesn't look like it bends. These wings don't look like they flap. They don't look like they could. They don't look like they could serve any purpose, like as a wing would, to lift a body. It's just all bad. But sometimes, as a commercial artist, someone hands you something like this and says, make it work. Okay. Let's take a few minutes to just draw this so we can say that we did and get it done with. And then we'll see what we can do to make it better and maybe come up with a composition. My last stream, I did a fun take on the Tektites and like Death Mountain, Link climbing up Death Mountain, getting attacked by Tektites, the spiders, and getting hit by rocks. And that was fun. I had an idea after I did it. Although I liked what I did, there were things I would change, but that it also would be fun to reverse the camera angle. So instead of being behind Link looking up, you know, seeing Death Mountain erupting and stuff, very cool. But we could also put the camera in front of Link looking down and get an intense dynamic angle of, you know, basically you can introduce a sense of vertigo with like, oh, that's a long way to fall, and, you know, Tektites like falling and things like that. I mean, sort of a fun take on the same thing. Though I want to draw that because I have an idea for it, I'm going to force myself to do this, which is, this is going to be difficult, so I'm not going to rush through it. Last time on the Death Mountain one, I felt rushed, partly because I was streaming on a night I wouldn't normally stream after a very long day of work, and you know, some personal shit going on that wasn't fun, but I'm happy to stream when I can. On occasion, people look and listen, and I think that's cool. So, all right. Well, so there's no rhythms in this image. There's nothing connecting anything to anything. It just looks like Mr. Potato Head pieces stuck together. Any one piece could just snap off. Really hard to draw it well and in any way that looks good. So I don't know if I'm gonna try too hard. But this is an opportunity to test our willpower. You know, anybody can draw the things that they love to draw. How good are you at drawing the things that you hate drawing or you don't want to draw? Can you do that too? Can you draw when you don't feel like it? Might be a good idea. practice. Practicing. Anyway, if it's not going to look good either way, then who cares? Okay, but as I see myself doing this, don't get bogged down in details. We're not adding shadow yet. We need to make sure we get all the major forms in. Pizza slice head. Pizza slice neck. This leg is all the dynamism of stocking hung by a fireplace. Looking every bit like a poor frozen carousel creature. Okay, I can see I've messed a couple things up here. The head isn't rising high enough relative to the tail, relative to the rest of the body. A little bit better. Because this wing can't be taller than the head, according to the drawing. Now the tail feels better in proportion to where the horn is. And yeah, we don't really care if everything's perfect, but you can learn something from almost any study, even a bad drawing. with a bad drawing. Does that mean we did it? Let's give it 5 more minutes. Some detail. It's like detail that serves no purpose. What does it do? Where is it taking your eye to do what? There's no... There's no reason. Detail serving its own purposes. Self-indulgent. It'd be different if it was like a masterful rendering. All this stuff, all these lines just sort of running in the same direction. When you know that if it was like a real animal, you know, you would follow the form. You would do something like this. You know. But no. Pushing my undies here. I'll do this the entire time. You can almost hear the artist counting off, like, okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toes. That's the amount, and I drew them. I must be done. Done drawing the toes. Oh, hey. Someone's here. Subs React. How are you? Subs. Yo. Drawing more Zelda. I'm forcing myself to draw a bad drawing of a bad drawing. Did you really? What were you doing studies of? Rubens. Oh, wow. Very good. Let's see here. Is it Rubens or like Peter Paul Rubens? Or because there's another artist named Rubens who's a great figurative artist as well. Okay, Peter Paul Rubens. Known for his voluptuous forms. Indulgences. Yeah, yeah. Do you want to show them to me somehow? I'm not sure how that would happen, but you don't have to. It's just a... I will I'm going to go out on a limb and say I've inspired you to no, just I'm glad that you are studying good, not good, great sources of study. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion. What I don't have to be the best. Send me a link. You know what I'm not sure of is if things that you send to the chat, you know, if you didn't want them out in the universe, you or anybody can send something to maxforward@gmail.com. And that is also a place you can send a link. But if you wanted to put it in the chat, that's just as well. But that's up to you. So Rubens is there's a concept of rhythms. Okay, cool. If you're familiar with the concept of rhythms, and it applies to what I'm doing right now. Okay, here we go. Let me know if it works. Oh, Discord. I'm barely. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Here I'm going to. I'm going to hype you up, subs, because your student study is excellent. Yeah, go ahead, send me the reference. Sort of impressive to me that you've done a good job keeping proportions without doing the looking to see the the line of action and stuff like that. Basically, I can tell that you drew this more or less just from sketching, not building out like base forms first, or to me it looks this way, like you relied on your ability to sketch accurately and just did it, as opposed to how did I know? Because I fucking know everything. No, just kidding. Because that's how I used to draw. No, but I know, because I know that's how I used to draw. I'm fucking good. Anything I see, I can draw. So I would look and I would see and I would draw it. And that's pretty much how I drew up until. See, this is how it goes. Is you'll get good at doing this till you think you're great, and then you'll have to draw something one day from your imagination, and your skills doing this will fail you when you try to do it in this new thing. Drawing from your imagination is not this. So this is excellent, but eventually you'll hit a roadblock and you'll have to retool. But I will give you nothing but compliments today, because you've done an excellent job of doing this. And actually, the design of your study is also excellent. I like the way you have it falling off and not crowding the edge of the page, even if you didn't necessarily size it up perfectly to fit perfectly inside of, this little thing. This couldn't have taken you all of 8 minutes. And what's more is it looked like you had fun doing it, which is almost the most important thing. So, bravo, kudos, all that stuff. December 11th. So this is today. Very good. How fun. Yes, yeah. So, but let's feel this out a bit, Rubens looked at, models all of this stuff that, the very few of the old masters drew anything from their imagination. That's actually a very new and difficult thing that we can try these days. But at the time, they didn't really do stuff like that so much. Some artists could do that. Many artists did not. And Rubens is, especially when they've got all this like nitty-gritty anatomical details with all the striations and the musculature, and don't be fooled. Very few people can keep track of all that stuff. Certainly myself included. When I do anatomy and it's with the musculatures and stuff like that, I have a lot of instincts about it, but it's I don't know what the muscle is that connects this thing to that thing and stuff like that. It's just not something that you can memorize it, and it's not. Anyway, they've got they had the right idea using models back in the day, but there are techniques now, and I'll just name drop here. I didn't think people could draw from their imaginations in a manner that echoed the lessons of the old masters until I saw it happen live in front of me. There was a guy, he's still alive. His name is Glenn Vilppu, and he happened to be my mom's old teacher because he's actually a master animator as well as artist. And what I saw him do was use the concept of rhythms, which is, hold on. The rhythms, and you may know this because it's not a secret necessarily, but what will happen? Okay, well, if I was drawing this from my imagination, and I wouldn't do it this well if I was, but I would start with the line of action. And then what you might do is think about how the rhythms, basically, and what happens in our bodies because we have, what is it called, like bilateral symmetry. Our left side is exactly the same as our right side, almost exactly. And what happens is there's just this natural dynamism that happens where if we're tilting here, then if we're something tilting here means so like a compression on this side means there's an expansion on the other side. And when you extrapolate that, you realize it's like for every force, there's an equal and opposite reaction kind of a thing. So what would happen, how Glenn would say, you look for the rhythms, and he would work very loosely. He would say, oh, there's like some sort of expression here, energy here, equates to energy here. So I don't think you have an accuracy problem. What you need to do is find is unfortunately, here's the problem, is you're good at doing it the shortcut way to get like a finished looking study, but and honestly it's really great, but the challenge is to from here, because you're only going to get so good at this, is to find a way to retool your brain to think in terms of like the relationships as it'll just help. I recommend looking up Glenn Vilppu, watching maybe some of his demos. I haven't seen him do anything recently, but I saw him do this live. I know this is possible, and it inspired me to actually do things differently too. Here, the relationship of this is it. The relationship of this face affects the relationship of the curve of the back, affects the relationship of the underside of the rib cage, affects the relationship on the buttocks, affects the relationship of the top of the quadriceps, affects the relationship here, affects the relationship here, affects the relationship at like the ankle down here. And then, you know, you sort of spin around and then you end up going right back up where you find that the relationship of the gastrocnemius, whatever it's called, influences this muscle, which then influences this muscle, which then influences this muscle, which, you know, it's not even well represented here, but that's what it's doing, is here with the iliac crest. You can see the rhythms, yeah. Essentially, like imagine there's like a laser beam of light that's like shooting here. Do you see? This is what it's doing. That's the energy proportion and the rhythm. When you do, the next time you draw this, just take a screenshot of what I just did, you know, or just look it up on the Twitch. Look at that. Stop looking at what I see you doing, and you're doing a great job of it. But, you know, this is a trap. You know, good artists can focus on these kind of details, and the problem with these kinds of details is this is not how we see. How we actually see is, or you're seeing what you're perceiving, but not what you're. Rubens likely didn't draw the contour line here. You've got all these like squiggles and bumps, and you've accounted for all of them. But if you go back, I'd challenge you to go back. It is probably more like this chest is probably, if you really go back and look at it, it's far smoother than what you drew. Far smoother. This angle of the face, it's far smoother than what you drew. There's details that he's included that your mind, as you perceive it, it's cranking up it's exaggerating in your brain, the viewer, the details of differentiation, which are only hinted to in his actual drawing. So you have to find a way to suppress that and see the larger statement of the rhythm. It's like the head is first and foremost, it's just this oval, you know. And I know even on like my angular face, you can just see all this detail. But if you took me and like put me far in the distance, like a tiny doll, where you couldn't see, you know, my muscular, you know, face and all my angular cheekbones and shit, it's just, you know, the real statement of the head is just a simple egg, basically. And I know it's like, yes, but I see all this detail, so you want to fight that. And you'd be like, I know better than a stupid book or whatever like that. But there's a greater truth to be told if you can embrace that and then learn why the way that we look at things is so different from the way that they are. It's part of our psychology. There's another artist, Nathan Fowkes, who's an excellent lecturer, and he really helped open my eyes to the fact that our lizard brain is, as a matter of survival, instinctively cranking up the gain, the detail, like, ooh, like, oh, I see something, heighten the contrast, so I see more of the detail, so I can tell whether or not this vegetation in front of me is food or poison, or if that bug is, you know, a harmless spider or it's a scorpion. Those animalistic instincts that happen in us, in our lizard brain, you know, our subconscious, the parts of our brains that we can't control, they happen and we experience them. But as an artist, we must suppress that and see what we're actually seeing. And what we actually see is very little. The reality, what will help is if you look at something and you squint until you can barely see anything at all. And that's actually what you see. All the other information that you see when your eyes are open, you look around, a lot of that is just your imagination, unfortunately. So you shouldn't trust it. You should really just focus on the bigger forms, the bigger pictures. Get those down right first. Train yourself to think about that stuff first. You'll learn to construct the world simply first, and then add detail. And then you can do the type of stuff that I'm kind of doing, where I'm like, hey, I want Link here, I want something there. I can move it around in my brain like it's Maya, like it's you know, Blender, 3D Studio Max, take your pick. Cinema 4D, all the different types of applications. The 65 people. Jesus Christ. All I'm saying is that there's not all this not all the stuff I was yammering about is it's not secretive stuff. It's in the books, basically. You just got to go back and you actually got to say, hey, you know, I'm gonna give my heart and soul to giving a shot at the construction stuff that helps you make things in your imagination. I can draw basic forms, but I find breaking down the complex objects into forms challenging. I will help you do this as you follow my streams. But I hope this was helpful with the like line of action. The entire pose is in the line of action. Everything is in this one stupid line, and then it just gets broken up into rhythms. It's like string theory or something like metaphysical. Like all of the tension that makes all this like in and out and in and out and in and out. Like it's all there. It's all there in here. It's in this line. All this was in here. It's mind-blowing. But when you start thinking about things that way, like the way that, you know, I give it all right, the critique and advice. Gesture drawing is so important. It's everything. It's everything. It's everything and everything. But because this is stupid because I'm like yammering. I don't want to go on a rant here, but because I'm famous for my rants. But the reason gesture drawing is important is because you need to practice the fluency of drawing without thinking. Because if you're thinking, the problem is thinking fucks people up. You need to stop thinking. And thinking, well, here's the thing, you can't think your way out of every fucking problem in life. You know, there's don't get me fucking started. Yes, the thinking is like the way you need to approach a drawing sometimes is like, I mean, let's say it's like, hey, there's like a hot girl at a party across the way, and you want to talk to her and like, you know, strike up conversation. Well, your brain gets in the way of all that shit. You can't think your way into that. You need to drink your way into that. You need to bypass your thinking abilities and get more into the, hey, I'm just gonna fucking roll up like I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna stop thinking. I'm gonna start feeling. Use your emotions, you know. This is a scientific fact. You can feel faster than you can think. So you need to train your brain to use the emotional centers and connect that to your fingers. Draw with what feels right and learn to identify what feels accurate more than anything about the analytical stuff. Just put all that shit aside. I mean, and then once you have fluency with that, you can bring your brain back into it. But that brain needs to take a back seat. The back seat is for the brains. The front seat is for the emotions and feeling like you are connected, as if it was. You need to be able to draw. To do good gesture drawing, you have to be able to draw faster than you can think. When you can do that, you can really start to take off as an artist. That is my rant. That's the rant over. All right, don't ask me about Dr. Strangelove. Everybody who came and joined, I appreciate you jumping in. I was just giving a wonderful artist critique to Stubbs. He did this fun. This is dated today, so he did a fun study of a Rubens, Peter Paul Rubens, and I was showing him because I could tell from his drawing that he was drawing things basically just accurately from his own vision, without doing any sort of construction build-ups and stuff like that. And I was encouraging him, now that he's pretty much gotten as far as he can with the drawing things that way, to give it a shot. Stubbs Boxer 419 is my brother, and he is a stand-up dude. So he's brought a bunch of raiders that I don't know if we'll hang out, but I'm going to get back to drawing Zelda in a second, but hi everybody if you're still there. Okay, so what I'm drawing right now is Aquamentus from the... and this was what I was... hi everybody. The Zealma. Got some pho. Alright, that is fucking delicious. Aquamentus is depicted here as some sort of plastic doll, whereas Peter Paul Rubens was known for his rhythms. This unfortunate creature is designed without Zealma. Oh, good. That's right, because I fucking know everything. This poor creature, let's just sort of like analyze why it looks like it's made of plastic. Injection molded plastic, basically. Though this is meant to be a fearsome beast, and it's got tons of little detail with lots of little nicely, evenly spaced spots that denote nothing, and this big ear that does nothing, and this unicorn horn. It just feels like it's this terrible collage of bits of... It's like the Mr. Potato Head design. Stick a couple limbs on a potato body, and then call it a day, right? Where are the rhythms? Where is the sense of musculature? Some fucking claws. There's like no articulation, no sense of... something. Could have looked so much fucking cooler, right? Tin robot toys. Yeah, it looks like it can't... Like, what are these wings? Why make a wing that, like, can't support a body, you know? You know, whatever. Alright, we did our study. Let's do something much better now. Alright. as shit. Yes, Boxer, make a suggestion. Make a music suggestion, make a art suggestion, make a... You're gonna post something. I know you're quickly looking something up and you're gonna post it. Trojan horse vibe on the official art. Now I'm going back. Very good. My instincts. Dad made some fresh chili and it slaps. Good, okay. Alright, here it is. How did I know? That's Aquamentus? Oh, that's a Moblin. You know, I had my run with the Moblins. Okay. I did a Moblin one already. That was a much earlier stream, but those were good drawings too. Alright, listen. I'm taking the suggestions. Should I draw this? Did you draw this pose? No, I didn't. This is not... I didn't play Breath of the Wild. I did, hold on. Let's see. I did one of those things where I saved it into a work folder accidentally, and now I have no idea where it is. Yeah, I'm not trying to flex. Let's revisit it another time. All right, what do you want this guy to do? Just be a badass? This doesn't look like a Moblin to me, but it definitely has more character than the Aquamentus. I was challenging myself to do something difficult, which is make this a character that looks like it's made of wood, and create it, make it do something fun. That's the... I know. Okay, is that a horn on the Moblin? What is that thing? Like the thing at the top. Here, okay, I'll bring it in so we can all see. Hold on. Moblins don't have horns. They've got spikes on their armor. Okay, so it's got a horn. Okay, it's got a horn. Does he use it to attack? Ah, okay. Okay, so this is a... Okay. These guys I've seen. I've seen these guys. Not because I played a game, but and I'm all about video games. I just have very little personal time, unfortunately. The personal time I have is spent doing this stream. That's what it is. And I don't really have the time. It cuts directly into my sleep, but it is well worth it. Okay. Okay, so this guy is cool. And the other Moblin thing is cool too. Alright. Well, what should we do? Alright. Do they have an in-between? I'm just trying to figure out a way to challenge myself. Both of them have sticks. They both have ears. They both have horns. They both... this one is the squat version. The other guy is the tall version. Should we... A bunch of Aquamentus and a Moblin face like. Okay. right. All right. In a tree fort. Is that another thing from the game? That's interesting. Right off the bat, that gives us some foundation to have some compositional gnomes, little fortresses in the natural landscape. Okay. I'm going to, without too much thought, establish some verticals that will help. If I might guess, do they have little platforms with suspension wires and then, fun spiral staircases of wood and then rope bridges? That sort of shit. Wow, yeah. Alright, let's think here. Could be fun is what could be happening here? Polished off that toki. Oh, is that the whiskey? That's what you would be apologizing for. You finished the whiskey. You should be sorry. Stealing a poor man's whiskey. I wouldn't normally start by building out like a set like this, but let's say I had to. Really know if I'm loving the wide composition. Can we get closer? Or in the battle? The Zelda theme. The intent is if I make enough storyboards to create a portfolio of samples, then maybe I can get a job on the Zelda movie that's coming out, which is I don't have personal life goals, but that would be that would be cool. And I have standing. I do video game trailers as part of my job, and I work in advertising, and I do, I love old school Zelda at least, and I'm sure the new stuff is amazing. And I like the idea of finding an excuse to make fun samples like this. All right, so these guys, you know what, let's go back to the wide. It may not be my first instinct, but I want to force myself to do not just the easy stuff for me, because I know I can do close-up action. Let's try and do something a little wider. And I'm not going to try and think too much. I'm just going to put things where they feel like they go. Okay, this guy's going to be a Moblin. They've got these cool, they look like gremlins. They're like little pig gremlins. In subs, you'll notice when I lay in my lines, when I'm guessing, I'm following those rhythms that we discussed. Do they have tails? Does anybody know? Like a loincloth here. Charging into battle. They've got clubs. They be clubbing. Have Link sort of at a distance here, which is different than I normally draw him. We've always been very close. But looking at the stuff I've been doing in the past, it's all a little bit one note, where we're just sort of like intense dynamic angle of Link in a scrape. You know, what if there were other shots? Like this is going to be a wider shot. What if there were some really wide shots? What if Link was a speck in the distance riding a horse across the horizon? I want samples like that as well. It'll show some range, but I don't mind. Here's the composition now. Okay, decided now that the if anybody's familiar with the film 300. Link could be here. As this guy. Mr. Moblin. Bringing down the pain. Very long limbs. And it looks like the scale is about right. Like these guys are. Got to get that tongue out. Maybe like that. Thumb. Yeah, I realize Zelda might not be everybody's cup of tea, but what I intend to do is do the Zelda thing. Probably will go nowhere. Too bad. But I'll just move on to the next thing that interests me, which could be anything. It could be more combat. It could be Street Fighter. It could be, there's a. By doing this, I get a chance to work on titles that I admire that I unfortunately don't get hired on, which is a shame for them and for me. But but should the occasion ever arise, because it sometimes does, hey, do you have... What will happen is Zelda will come out, and though I probably won't get hired on Zelda, the copycats will arrive as well. And those will want samples that resemble Zelda, and then I'll have them, sort of a thing. And by proxy, I'll get to work on a Zelda-related thing. But these guys don't have very sharp teeth. That's interesting. Big broad backs. Very stubby legs. Have some little Moblin bros down here. Because it feels like the smaller Moblins are small, and this big Moblin is big, or are they just different shapes? Maybe you can let me know. Anyway, Link's in a bind here because he's about to get run off the edge of like a platform. Make sure all the ropes are pointing in the right direction. Look like from this direction the idea of like this convergence. Different angles. Bad guys coming together. Where'd the other Moblin go? Tree dudes coming in to kick butt. Oh yeah, and this guy's got a big ass horn. See, the horn is weird for me because it's not doing much. Maybe someone can correct me, but it just looks like one of those things that is on his head but doesn't get used as a weapon. And all these guys have little horns. Oh, You're right. I'm right that he has a horn and it's not a weapon. That shit pisses me off. I'm gonna start ranting. No, because I'll be on projects where I'll be like, oh look, this guy's character, he's got all these grenades like on his like utility belt. You know, let's have him throw a grenade. They're like, no, he doesn't throw grenades in the game. I'm like, he's got a fucking grenade right on his fucking, it's like right there. We can't have him throw it. They're like, no, he doesn't do that. Then I'm like, why is it fucking there? You know? Who approved this shit? Now the composition's getting too crowded. And the guys over here aren't doing anything that these guys aren't. So we gotta get rid of them. We can still do cool things though. Let's see here. The tree back. What if it looked like there was a broken bridge here? And there were figures here that wanted to kick Link's ass, but they couldn't. And like, some of the guys that were on the bridge are actively like falling to their deaths down here. And actually, this is interesting. I wonder if there's some even if all it does is just like fall off into the mist. Say there's like a misty mist below the canopy. Maybe there's a guy here trying to hold on. That's entertaining to me. These guys are too much in the foreground. pray. It's like a World War Z Get Link moment with Moblins in a tree fort above a foggy chasm in the forest. In the background, we can have some things. But we've shifted our perspective now, so the horizon line is more like right here. So we see some of what's below us. Sorry, I know I'm zoomed out with everything. Probably way more than I need to be, but it's looking like this so far. And while there's not a lot of detail, what we do have here are the start of things that will pay off later. And so part of what I'm doing is also just doing myself a favor in creating things that might bear fruit later. Much of what I've done up to this point is unfinished sketch artwork that resembles, if I can, revisit something I've already shown. I internally rejected this and went with this, which is something, again, it's not finished, but it has the concepts that I'm looking for, which is, you know, tension and emotion and lighting and expression and you know, vibrancy, materials, just like tick all the marks, you know, kind of the stuff. I'm looking for something that when I come back to it, I know exactly what to do, kind of thing. I'm getting there with this piece now. I want to do what I can to add just a little bit more. You finished one of your goals recently. What is one of your goals? And then tell me your other goals. No, but goal completion is is it the secret to happiness? No, I'm not sure if it is, but it's a great way to receive my praise. You left emojis. Let's see here. Which one you like best? Which one do I like of your emojis? Or the these look cool. Is that what you were doing? The gas heart is pretty cool. Yeah. you made a bunch of emotes. I made one for each color of my dragon on stream. You can attack me with any of the 5 elements for 300 points. What does that mean? Can I right-click and download this? Do I have to spend 300 points, or do I get 300 points? Part of your Twitch, very cool. The do you have a dragon-themed do cookie and game key giveaways? Interesting. Cookie giveaways? Like edibles? VTuber. Okay, very cool. A VTuber, if I'm not mistaken, you have like a like an avatar, generally anime styled, kind of a thing. Is that about right? Okay. I'm gonna focus. He's that dragon. Okay, so it's your sort of dragon sona. I know I'm like you made a dragon representation of yourself. Very cool. Is it okay? I'll follow you, and I'll check out your next VTube session, because now I'm curious. So while I'm noodling and doing nothing, it looks like I will follow up on that. I'm just adding detail, and it's doing nothing, and that's not what we do. It's okay to like indicate that there's trees, but not without a purpose. Curious person meets the king of curious. Okay, how do we introduce light into this scene? Let's try it. I've introduced a darkening layer on top that is a filter. And into it, or on top of it, we can introduce... I love the idea of like light sort of breaking through. Dappled light. You know, because all this tree stuff can be and subs, I don't know if you're still here or looking, but as I'm applying this, look at my eyes. I'm squinting so hard that I can barely see what I'm doing, and that's telling me where the composition needs light. The fog down below will absorb the light, but you must be sparing. The light that is bright in one area will cancel out the light, the importance of the light, the availability of the light to be relevant. Light can't do the work that other light is doing if the other light is doing it. So when it comes to composition, the brightest bright, which is here, spend all my time on study. Don't worry about that. The squint strats are real. Yeah. Well, what this allows is like, you know, and I'm not doing, I'm not a perfect composition or like a values guru or anything like that. But if we, I don't know if any of you guys use Photoshop or are digital art enthusiasts, but there's what is it called? Brush compositing. In my program, they call it paint layering, which is BS. It's basically the brush compositing that's available in Photoshop. And I can take, for instance, I can start a layer, and this is a dark gray color that I've chosen. And I can paint with that, but then I can paint, and every subsequent stroke on top of it becomes lighter and lighter and lighter until it gets to white. So using this method, for instance, I can delicately add highlights to some of these figures without blowing my wad all in one. I don't want to get too far. Of course, the focus somewhat needs to be on Link, right? But he's got a shield here. On the defensive. Look how that looks. Don't get banned from Twitch. See glints and hints of the armor. If it's not clear, I apologize, but Link here is sort of retreating, and it looks like he's going to fall off the edge. That's the classic hero in danger moment. Thank you, Boxer. So I don't know if we're all able to do this, but you can see, and if you look at this and you tighten down your eyes so that you can barely see out of it, you can see masses of light and masses of dark and a sort of general thrust. And yep. So that is the goal, to get that. And once you have that, then all the detailing is more or less just fun and easy and, you know, arbitrary. But this is the sort of thing that, like, if you shrink this down, viewed it like a postage stamp, this is kind of what you actually see when you look at something. The information that reaches, you have to imagine that, you know, the part of your eyeball that receives information is so fucking small. And the nerves that it's like, and none of it is like in and of themselves are intelligent. Gotta run. All right, bye, Sky Shadow. Really bad journalist on this. Wish me luck. All right, get some sleep. We're all due. All right, I'm gonna 15 more minutes. I started late. I'll finish a little bit later. Beat up children. Yes, do the Lord's work. Destroy. Kill the children. That's my friend would say. So I'm just gonna leave some like detail notes for myself to come back to, but essentially, like, we're getting somewhere with this, and it's good. One thing that I see that I want to not get too, I don't want to miss. Yeah, no, that guy is like requisite. Like, if something bad can happen in a drawing, like, you have to show it happening to somebody so that the potential is there. And I don't want, like, the silhouettes of these characters to just totally go away. But it's got to be subtle, you know? You know, but, like, what I just did helps the, kind of a thing. You know, and then eventually you do the, you know, you get in there, you get a sort of glow effect, you know, kind of a thing. And that's what I was talking about with, like, 300. You get this, like, silhouetted, like, there is that, you know, famous shot in 300, and in the comic as well, where there's this push of, like, guys just forcing guys off of a cliff, for instance, and that's more or less the situation we're putting Link in here. So, let's think of things. Like, I like that there. Let's leave that there. Why not? But, like, yeah, you could. I do this way too much. Put, like lens flares, you know, kind of thing. Get all this shit going on, you know. That'll come later. One thing Boxer, do you, is there a, in the modern Zelda game, like a rope bridge reference that you think you could find handy? And if there isn't, that's fine. But I'm not liking what I'm coming up with. All right, thank you. I feel like if I had something to riff off of, it might come faster. Let's try little hacky hacks. doing right now is more or less underscoring certain areas that I know will be more or less in shadow and creating an overlap. And by doing this, for style or just sort of reference. I mean, even in Legend of Zelda, I know there were Link to the Past. I know there were rope bridges, so there's not. You know, there'd probably be a very because what you have, I have as accurate. Oh, that's what I was worried about because it's not that interesting. All right, let's see here. Who knew there'd be triangles? Yeah, I don't even like that. It's so for our purposes here, what's true about that? Let me just bring it in. Is the this design? It's too regular, and it doesn't look like a bunch of orcs made it. Basically, it looks like elves made it, which is probably accurate. So, is there something that looks like orcs made it, for instance, or something that looks like it's gonna break if you look at it wrong or something like that? That's what I'm curious about. If there isn't, all good. But this guy to me almost looks like an alligator. I don't know if I drew him wrong. I just think he kind of just looks like an alligator. An alligator with no teeth. Just add spikes, yeah. That's true. That's not a bad idea, actually. With rungs. Kind of a fun concept. It could look like it was made from old broken weapons. Yeah, one idea I was thinking about earlier was what if the whole place looked like it was on fire, which could still happen, I suppose, but... I just want it to look rickety without thinking too hard, but this is sort of getting the point across. Yeah, I don't know if I can get the transparency of their ears quite right here. Getting make it look like from out of the fog over here, there are more guys coming. Platforms leading to platforms leading to platforms. The army is coming. Old spears and shit. Yeah, like seized weapons or something like that get repurposed. Old rope, whatever. It's I think that's what I'm kind of getting at, is like a little bit of like the old movie Waterworld, where it was just like everything is made from recycled shit. I like this melancholy song. It wrap-up song for me. I'll do this enough times with this soundtrack, and I'll get to the that sells it all. What, the little details I just added? Yeah, you really get in there with like. Some of this stuff is so abstract, I don't even know what I'm drawing. Yeah, it looks rad. Hobbit Part 1, that has them running through the Goblin Cave. Very, very true. Yeah, yeah. But the... man, that sequence was 10 minutes too long. That... the whole... I don't know. As a big fan of the original... Not the original, but the... 2000s era Lord of the Rings stuff. The I don't know what happened in The Hobbit, but that was a snooze fest for me. I didn't check out the rest of them. I hate that. Like I was so hyped for all of the Lord of the Rings, man. Feels like my soul. I'm mad I can't go back to being young and into the shit that I was into. You know, no matter what I do, I'm not young enough to wait in line at midnight for Star Wars Phantom Menace, you know. Can't go back. Gotta control the values, though. Stuff over here is far away enough. Stuff over here is far away enough that the shadows will never go by. Bye, subs. Good night. I'm doing this tomorrow too. Probably a different drawing, but I'll come back to them all eventually. Oh yeah. It is about that time. I'm just noodling at this point. There's nothing wrong with sleeping on a composition. You see it better the next day anyway. Fresh eyes. And I'm out of wine. So, all right. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna say good night. Thank you, any viewers, for looking. I will be back tomorrow. Bigger shot of this? Yeah. All right, let me see here. All right, turn that off. Turn this off. Hold on. There you go. There's the big one. Alright, brosifs. It's a fun start. I'm gonna come back to all this shit and finish it. That's my goal, at least. You know, life will probably intervene, but like, look at this. How would that not be fun? Just to fucking detail the hell out of this. This and everything else, you know? Alright. Alright, everybody. Love you. Thank you for seeing things and checking it out. And I'll be back tomorrow, 10 to midnight, unless something crazy fucking happens. Alright. I'm gonna hit the stop button. Thanks again. Good night.